Hello, welcome to today's class. Our topic today is conditionals with the farmer. Do you know what this topic is about? Now, let's take a look at an overview of this class. This lesson focuses on a new type of programming puzzle featuring a farmer who needs to prepare a fields for planting crops. So the main character in conditionals with the farmer is the farmer. And the farmer needs to prepare her fields for planting crops. You might be wondering, what is the purpose of this class? The purpose of this lesson is to introduce you to while loops. I know you're familiar with loops, but in this class, I'm going to introduce you to while loops and if-else statements. So at the end of this class, you should be able to determine circumstances when certain parts of a program should run and when they shouldn't. You should also be able to determine whether a conditional is met based on criteria. I know you're excited to learn new things during the course of this lesson, so listen attentively. So class, let's gather together. I'm going to ask 2 volunteers to walk straight in some direction in this classroom. If they encounter a chair out of place, they must step over it. If they reach a wall, they must sit down. But how would you program a robot to respond to a wall or a chair? You cannot simply say step over chair unless you know there's a chair, and you will not always know there's a chair. So it might be helpful to translate the task into instructions like, while there's a path ahead, walk forward. If there's a chair, step over it. Sit down. This is a more specific instruction for the robot. It is a conditional statement. So remember, in code.org, we are going to be using conditionals to solve the problems there. But do you know the meaning of condition, conditionals, and while loop? We are going to look at the meaning of these terms. So what is condition in computer science? A condition is a statement that a program checks to see if it is true or false. If true, an action is taken. Otherwise, the action is ignored. So condition is a statement that a program checks to see if it is true or false. The next term is conditionals. Conditionals are statements that only run under certain conditions. So if you're asked the meaning of conditionals, remember, conditionals are statements that only run under certain conditions. So now let's take a look at the last term, which is the while loop. While loop is a loop that continues to repeat while a condition is true. While loop is a loop that continues to repeat while a condition is true. Listen carefully to an overview of while loop.
While loops are pretty similar to what you do in everyday life. Imagine you are washing your car. You will keep scrubbing until it's clean. So while it's not clean, continue to scrub. So you're evaluating these things all the time. Hey there, we've got a new loop to help your farmer out. It's called a while loop. It's pretty simple actually. While a statement at the top is true, do something. For example, while there's a pile, remove one shovelful. Go ahead and give it a try with your farmer.
So it's coding time. Let's head over to the code studio and complete our puzzles on the lesson Conditionals with the farmer. Let's get started. So this is puzzle 1, Conditionals with the farmer. Hi, I'm a farmer. I need your help to flatten the field on my farm so it's ready for planting. Move to the pile of dirt and use the remove block to remove it. So here's the farmer, and I think the farmer needs to move a number of steps. So I'm going to make use of my repeat block, and I'm going to change this to 4 because I think it has to move 4 steps. So I'll put my move forward here, and then I'm going to make use of my remove block. Let's see how this goes. Yay! So let's move to the next level. Move to the hole and fill it with 6 shovelfuls of dirt using the fill block. So we're going to make use of the fill block to fill the hole with dirt. Okay. So this is our fill block, and they ask us to fill 6 shovelfuls of dirt. So I'm going to make use of the repeat block. But first, I think my farmer needs to move 1 step. Okay. And now I'm going to make use of my repeat block. And I'm going to change this to how many number of times? I'll put my fill block here. Now let's see how this goes. Yay! We are done with puzzle 2. This seems like so much fun, right? So now let's continue to the next level. Okay, now this is puzzle 3. Puzzle 3 says, move to the pile of dirt and tell me how many shovelfuls to remove. Use as few blocks as possible to solve this puzzle. So now I'm going to make use of my move forward block because I think the farmer needs to move 1 step. And afterwards, I'm going to make use of my repeat block and then my remove block. Here, I'm going to change this to 10 because I think I can see 10 underneath the pile of dirt. Okay, I can see 10 underneath the pile of dirt. So now, let's hit the run and see how this goes. Ta-da! So now, let's move to puzzle 5. Look closely at the code below. What will happen after you click run? We've been given a program here on the workspace area, and we are asked to choose the correct option. A says nothing will happen. B says the farmer will never stop removing dirt. C, the farmer will remove dirt as long as there is a pile, then stop when the pile is gone. D, the farmer will remove dirt only once. So look at your program closely. The program is when run, move forward. While there's a pile, do remove the pile of dirt. Okay, so I think the correct option for this is C, which says the farmer will remove dirt as long as there's a pile, then stop when the pile is gone. So I'm going to choose C and then hit the run. Yay, that was correct. great. So now let's move to the next puzzle. Puzzle 6. Oh my! The pile is so big that it's hard to guess how much dirt is in it. We've added a new block to the toolbox called the while there's a pile block. Use this to remove dirt only while there is still some to scoop. So there's a new block here called while there's a pile. Okay? While there's a pile block. So we're going to make use of this to remove dirt only while there is still some to scoop. So when run, remember the pile of dirt, we don't know how many dirt is in here, so we just have to use this block. While there's a pile, remove dirt, okay? So this is like a conditional statement block, okay? So now we're going to move forward. So we're going to make use of the while there's a pie block. So while there's a pie, remove dirt. Okay, while there's a pie, remove that. So now let's see how this goes. So now after hitting the run button, you're going to use the step to keep removing the dirt. Okay, so you keep hitting the step button to get your pile off. Now let's replay this again and see one more time. Ta-da!
Every athlete knows that you get good by practicing, by repeating the same moves until you get really good, or until you reach your goal. When I was in high school, I wouldn't leave practice until I made 10 free throws in a row. Similarly, when you get to a computer program and repeat a command, you can give it an exact number of times to repeat, or you can define a goal and tell it to repeat the command until it reaches some goal. In the next example, the repeat block is changed. Instead of specifying how many times you want it to repeat, you can use the repeat until block to tell the Angry Bird to do the same thing until it gets the pig or until it crashes into a wall. And again, we can put multiple blocks inside the loop and repeat a series of actions.
This is puzzle 11. The letters is now only at the end of the part. Travel down the part until you reach a head of letters, then continue to pick it while there is still some left. So this is puzzle 11. Okay, we've been given some program here on the workspace area which says when run, repeat until there is letters, do move forward. While there is letters, do pick letters. Now remember, the instruction says the letters is now only at the end of the part. It's only at the end of the part. Travel down the part until you reach a head of letters, then continue to pick it while there is still some left. Now let's see how this goes with the program we've been given.
We have a new block that's called the if-else block. It's a conditional statement just like the if block that you've used in the puzzles before. But now there's a new part at the bottom that says else. The if-else block lets the bee make a decision between two sets of actions. If the bee is at a flower, the bee will do the set of actions you put in the first part where it says do. If the bee is not at a flower, the bee will do the set of actions you put in the slot where it says else. So if statements are how computers are able to make decisions. Humans set up conditions for the computer that say if the computer is presented with a certain situation, do this. Else, which just means otherwise, do that. The top of our if-else block says if at flower, but the top of our block could say other things like if nectar equals 2, or if there's a path ahead. And our block will behave in the same way, that if the statement on the top is true, it will do the first set of actions. But if the statement on the top is false, it will do the second set of actions.
Now this is the challenge puzzle. The only way to get all of the crops is to move forward until you get the letters. Then turn left if there's a part to the left, otherwise turn right. So this is like a conditional statement. So the farmer will keep moving forward until the farmer gets the letters. The farmer can turn left if there's a part to the left, but if there's no part, the farmer will turn right. So this brings us to the end of today's class. So go over to the Code Studio and complete your puzzles. See you in my next class. Bye.